In today's vlog, we're going to be taking you around St. Kitts and Tortola. Whilst there, we went on an excursion to Jost Van Dyke and it was absolutely perfect. And of course, we'll also be getting up to lots of shenanigans aboard P&O Cruises Arvia. So stick around, and if you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe. Let's go! As usual, we got up bright and breezy as we sailed in to the beautiful St. Kitts. We didn't have any excursions planned for today, so the plan was just to have a look around the local area and see what we could see. We were joined in port today by two ships. We had Marella Discovery 2. We've never sailed Marella. Should we give it a go? Let us know in the comments. There was also Oceana, and that's not going to happen. Way out of our budget. I'm back in the laundrette doing my thing, and I've just been ironing my shirt thinking, I'm not getting anywhere. Oh, such a schoolboy error. Always make sure this green light is on. It goes off after a couple of minutes, so you have to just press it again to illuminate it. Otherwise, this thing won't work. And there we go, we are St. Kitts ready. Let's go and get Ben. Here he is.
Hello.
Yay. You ready for St. Kitts?
I am, but I don't do anything.
Knowing our back on board time, we headed out. Before we left the ship, we did of course have some breakfast. I've shown you breakfast in the Keys like a million times this series so far, so if you haven't seen the other episodes, make sure you check them out at the end of this one. I'll put a playlist link at the end of the video for you. As you can see, the pier was chock-a-block with people getting off the ship so they could go and explore this beautiful port. The cruise port itself is great. It's nice and bright, vibrant and full of lots of shops. One thing I will say is though, it's very chaotic as you walk through the main strip. There's loads and loads of vendors asking for your business, and I totally get it, they just want their business, but it does kind of feel like you're in the middle of a media scrum at some point, so bear this in mind. Please don't let that put you off exploring though. If you don't want what they're offering as a service, just politely say no and move on. Aside from a couple of bars, it's mainly full of jewellery shops and souvenir shops. As I said earlier on, we didn't really have a plan of what to do, so we just went for an explore really, just to see if we could get a little bit of real St. Kitts culture. The immediate area outside the cruise port felt clean and safe. You've got beautiful parks such as Independence Square, and dotted around you'll notice these red telephone boxes, which you will find very familiar. It's because St. Kitts only became independent back in 1983. Until then, it was a British colony. We also came across this beautiful church. It staggers me how well kept these churches are, they're beautiful. We then decided to follow Google Maps and try and find a national park. And that's where things started to feel a little bit wrong. The further we walked down the road, it started to feel like we were on the set of a horror movie. Think Wrong Turn. It was just covered in like burnt out coconuts, burnt out trees, ovens, lots of weird stuff, so we decided to turn back. We did at least get a view of the beautiful valleys around St. Kitts, so that was a plus. We then headed straight back into town and thought we'd explore the other side of this town. We decided to have a walk down to the beach just to see what it was like, and along the way we saw some really cool art. Now, as far as beaches go, unfortunately this one isn't very good, as you can see. There are way better beaches around St. Kitts though, so if you do love your beach days out, don't let this put you off too much. We then decided to have a walk up the hill towards Fort Thomas. Fort Thomas isn't actually there anymore, it's an abandoned hotel which from the looks of it is being renovated. Still worth the walk though because we got these gorgeous views. As we kept walking up the road, we just had a little look around just to kind of see how the locals lived, and as you can see this is the posh bit. We then spied the sign for a restaurant and bar, so we thought we'd give it a go. And let me tell you, we are so glad we did. As you walk through, it looks like a private resort, a very well kept private resort, so we fully expected to get to the end of the path and be told, sorry, it's private, go away. But it wasn't the case. This place is absolutely gorgeous. Take a look. Oh, how gorgeous is that? I wish we were there right now. Anyway, we went up to the bar and asked if it was private, and they said, well, no, if you want to just grab a drink, grab a seat. If you want to get a lounger and use the pool, it's $25 per person. We opted to just get a couple of drinks at the bar and some food, as you'll see shortly. They were so nice and well worth every penny. If any of you guys want to check this out, if you're visiting St. Kitts, what I'll do is put a link in the description which will take you to their website. They did say that it is worth emailing beforehand just to reserve a space because it can fill up. In case anyone's wondering, we are not sponsored by this bar at all. We paid with our own money and we're just telling you about it because we loved every moment. There were people from the ship already there, and I'd assume they'd gone there on an excursion, and I bet it was a lot more expensive than what you'd pay if you were just doing it by yourself. Here's a cheeky look at the menu, and it was fairly expensive, but the quality was there. Take a look. This is the braised arancini. In a word, yum. And here's the fries with the added truffle. Real truffle, guys, not powder. And these are the barbecue fried chicken wings, and they were so tasty. Oh, I'm salivating just thinking about them. And the beer was good too. After a fair few cocktails and beers, we decided it was time to head off. And here's a little look at the gardens. They are so well kept. It's a gorgeous resort, so we'd strongly recommend checking it out. Well, what a turn of events. From wrong turn to paradise. We are so glad we found it. We really hope you're enjoying the video so far, guys. If you are, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, and if you haven't already, hitting the subscribe button, that would be amazing as it helps our channel grow. Our ultimate goal is to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and we're currently on 7,750. We can do this! From the ship to the view, it took around 45 minutes. So for perspective, here is the view from the ship. Pretty cool, eh? We then headed to the Sky Dome for the afternoon quiz, and as you can see, we didn't do too badly. We didn't win though.
Hey, so we are just getting ready for the evening. We're going to head to the Sailaway party, but before that, pop to the photo studio to pick up a little private photo shoot that we had done.
Indeed, and then we are heading back to Green & Co.
Yeah.
Green & Co? Green & Co.
They do now serve cow though, because they added meat.
They do. See, I meant to do that. We then went and took a pew at a bar and had a cheeky Banks's beer, which by the way is awesome. And then we made our way to the Sailaway party, and as you can see, it was pretty busy. It was a nice atmosphere, nice and lively. There was a massive queue for the complimentary drinks, and there was lots of dancing going on with the entertainments team. As we'd sobered up from the few cocktails and beers we'd had at the resort we went to earlier on, we couldn't really be bothered with dancing around, so we headed to our favourite place on the ship, which was the Sunset Bar. The Sunset Bar really is the place to be for Sailaway, and of course an epic sunset. And off Marella Discovery 2 goes. Do you guys think we should give Marella a go? We have thought about it, but we've never got around to it, so let us know what you think in the comments, guys. We always love to hear from you. And as Arvia started to sail away, we made our way across to Green & Co for our evening meal. This was the second time we visited this amazing restaurant on this voyage because we like it so much. They now serve a mixture of vegan and meat dishes. The restaurant itself, the food, and of course the actual crew are all amazing. And talking of, whilst we show you the menus and also what we had to eat, I'm going to share with you a little story. Now, if you've been on a cruise before, you've probably noticed how very hard all of the crew work, and they absolutely do not deserve any abuse. Sadly, on this occasion, one of the tables not too far from where we were sitting was so rude to one of the servers. The guy in particular was raising his voice, swearing, mocking the waiter, and also demanding drinks that weren't available on the venue's drink menu. Then as the waiter left, they complained that they couldn't really understand his accent very well and began to mock him even further. To us, this is absolutely unacceptable. You could understand the waiter perfectly well. He was so polite and so passionate about his work, and it broke our hearts to see this. And honestly, we would have said something, but the waiter de-escalated it and handled it so well, we left him to it, so kudos to him. But I just wanted to raise the point that no one should be abusing any of the staff, and if anything, we should be taking the time to praise how hard they work. Honestly, fair play to the crew member, because I think I'd have lost my temper. So rude. Have you come across similar scenarios in the past? Let us know in the comments. We like to read all of your stories. The whole episode left us feeling a little bit annoyed, to be honest, so we just headed to the Sunset Bar, relaxed, had a drink, and enjoyed the gorgeous view. Well, good morning to you all. We have woken up in beautiful sunny Tortola, and we've never been here before, but it looks gorgeous. Have a look. Yeah, can't wait to explore. Hopefully, because we're portside today, our window will get a wash. That'd be really cool. Well, before we kick off with the day, let's have a look. So it's going to be partly sunny, so that's good. Very hot. And Tortola looks gorgeous, doesn't it? Can't wait to explore. We're going to be on an excursion to a place called Jost Van Dyke, and it looks absolutely lovely. But as you can see, even for those that are staying on the ship, there's still a fair bit to do. Not quite as much as what you'd see on a sea day, but to be fair to P&O, they do a good job.
Hey, good morning. So we are just going to head around the ship and just take a look at some of the views and then go for breakfast before heading out to Jost Van Dyke.
Yay! We can't wait.
Home of the Soggy dollar bar.
Indeed, this is the one we've been waiting for, so stick around.
Yeah.
Oh, just look at this. It's like a scene out of Moana. This island is absolutely stunning. Take a look. How beautiful is that? Anyway, we knew we had a long day ahead, so we headed to Vista's for a proper coffee. Not included in your cruise fare, but to be honest, the pay-as-you-go pricing is more than fair. It's pretty much what you pay on the high street, if not a little bit cheaper. We then made our way back to the main dining room, this time the Zenith main dining room, for some breakfast. We ate in the main dining room for breakfast a fair few times this voyage, and I must say the service was pretty quick. And in case you've missed the episodes earlier on in the series, here is a cheeky look at the breakfast menu. I felt particularly hungry, so I went for the thick cut toast again, as well as a smoothie and also a nice full English. Everything was cooked really nicely, it was tasty and warm. The port was busy again today because we were joined by Carnival Venezia. Apologies if my pronunciation isn't quite right there. All of the passengers had to squeeze through these tiny little gates, which was kind of amusing. As with most Caribbean cruise ports, there were loads of jewellery shops and souvenir shops, but this port had more of a luxe feel to it. It felt very nicely set up. If you are visiting this port and you need some cash, there is an ATM machine available literally opposite the ship. If like us, for some reason your card won't work, there is another ATM available in a yellow building just down the road from the other one. Loaded with some cash, we headed out to have a look around the shops and just to see what there was around the cruise port, because it is our first time here. Now, if you go just between these shops here, there's like a boardwalk where there's lots of bars and little eateries, and it's well worth having a look around. It was lovely to get a nice view of the marina, as well as a really cool view of these huge fish. Keeping the positive vibes going was this amazing singer. He had a cracking voice on him. Yeah, you sing it, mate. You rocked. I love this little buzz as well. How cool is that? Whilst we were admiring the beautiful ship that is Arvia and also the gorgeous scenery, it happened. It absolutely threw it down, crikey. As we had an excursion booked for Jost Van Dyke, we did get a little bit nervous and think, oh crikey, is it going to be a washout? But as if by some miracle, about 10 minutes later, the sun was beaming again. Being an excursion, we were given bands so they knew who was supposed to be on there, and then our little boat came in to take us to this absolute paradise. I can't wait to show you this, guys. The boat ride itself to Jost Van Dyke took around an hour, and just to warn you, it was a bumpy ride, as you can see here in the footage. It did level out a little bit though once we got into the channel. The boat itself was nice, and it did have a toilet, which is of course handy if you're having cocktails. Tortola is without a doubt one of the most beautiful islands we've ever seen, so I'm not going to talk all the way through this. Have a look at what we saw on the way. When we started to arrive at what looked like the jetty where we'd get off, we started thinking, well, this doesn't look like the pictures, what's going on? Well, we didn't know, but there was also a little minibus ride included as well, but this was nowhere near as long. It took around 20 minutes. That was a bit bumpy, wasn't it? It was fun. We're just going to get a bus now over to the main beach. That's right, we made our way along these hilly, narrow roads, but oh my gosh, wait till you see this, guys. It was so worth it. Take a look. Gosh, if heaven was a place on earth, this surely would be it. I mean, look at that water, it's crazy. The excursion included use of a sunbed and umbrella. It also included a drink and also a light lunch, which we'll tell you more about later on. Wow, this place is absolutely stunning. It's really busy, but completely understandable because everyone wants a slice of paradise, don't they? They sure do, and we got it in spades. Well, yeah, we made it, sweetheart.
Jost Van Dyke.
Excited, right?
Yeah, we need to find the Soggy bar.
We do.
It's at one of the ends, isn't it?
Until then, cheers.
Cheers.
We'd seen this place on a show called Below Deck in the past, and we couldn't wait to visit it. Talking of, are you Team Kate? Let us know in the comments. If you know, you know. Anyhow, the Soggy Bar, it is an institution in Jost Van Dyke. The story goes essentially it's a bar where people used to sail up and swim into shore, and because they'd swam in the water, their dollars were of course a little bit soggy, hence the name Soggy Bar. They are known for their cocktail called the Painkiller. At $10 a pop, they weren't too bad. Quite frankly, they could have charged whatever they wanted on this beautiful island. Walking along this beach was absolutely stunning. It was like walking through dust, in a good way. And the water is absolutely crystal clear. I mean, look at that blue. And if you walk a little further down the beach, it is way less crowded and you get some beautiful views. So Ben's just gone up this little stairway, so let's have a look at what he's found. Well, it's no surprise that the ultra rich with their beautiful yachts come and visit this absolutely stunning beach. Just look at it. After our little walk, we headed back to the sunbeds, chilled out in the sun for a little bit, and then, of course, we went for a snorkel. Now, unsurprisingly, as there were so many boats and so many people around, there wasn't that much sea life, but we did find a few nooks and crannies where you had some pretty fish. As mentioned earlier, included in the excursion was a drink and also a light lunch. Now, the drink was non-alcoholic and also the meal was a burger. Now, it was really nice, but honestly, the staff in here, to us anyway, were rude. They were very sassy and kind of argumentative for some reason, but it was a shame because the actual food was lovely. No point getting hung up on stuff like that though when you've got beautiful views like this. All in all, we had around 2.5 hours to spend on the beach, so it was soon home time, and we were so sad to leave because it is really truly stunning and we think it's well worth it, so we'd strongly recommend checking it out. Honestly, because Jost Van Dyke is so far away from the Tortola port, we wouldn't recommend doing this third party. We'd recommend doing it with P&O Cruises, so if things do run behind, at least you've got that security that they are going to wait for you. On the boat ride home, we were lucky enough to get front row seats. A word of warning, it does turn out to be a bit of a blessing and a curse because you are likely to get a little bit wet, but honestly, for the views, it's so worth it. And you're in the Caribbean, it's warm, you'll dry in no time, don't worry about it. On the way back to the cruise port, we got to see some absolutely gorgeous, luxurious yachts and houses, and you can't help but think, but what if, eh? If we won the lottery, we'd be there tomorrow, I'm telling you. The boat trip on the way back to the ship was much more fun. They were cranking up the music and handing out the rum cocktails. Sweet Marella, good times ever seem so good, so good, so good. Honestly, we had so much fun and the crew were amazing. We really enjoyed it. With regard to Tortola, honestly, if we ever go back to the Eastern Caribbean on a cruise, if Tortola's not on the itinerary, we're not going on it. This was our favourite island of the whole cruise and it's just gorgeous. And the lady here, which you can see, she made the boat ride home. She was amazing. I wish I caught her name, but she was really awesome. Back to the ship on time, we headed back to the cabin to change for the evening.
Hello, so we are just about to wrap up our daylight hours in Tortola. Very sad because we have loved the day so much.
It's been beautiful. We hope you enjoyed the shots. The only thing that was missing from Jost Van Dyke was Kate from below deck.
Yes, yes.
Can you imagine? Kate, it's very unlikely that you watch our channel, but if you do, we love you.
Yes, and we like rocket ships.
Indeed, we do. If you know, you know.
Yes.
You know.
Anyway, we are going to go to the Sunset Bar now.
We are.
Yes.
And then later on, we're going to go to the Glass House because we haven't eaten there yet. It's crazy. This holiday's going so fast. So stick with us and see how we get on.
Yeah.
As per our now tradition, we headed to the Sunset Bar for Sailaway. While leaning over, I saw this little thing rotating. Does anyone have any idea what it does? Just out of curiosity, let us know in the comments. We were so sad to be leaving Tortola, but it was nice to see it in the evening with all the little lights twinkling in the distance. We headed to the Glass House with the intent of having a meal, and we joined the virtual queue. There was barely anyone eating in the restaurant, and we were just told to take a seat and we'd be called up when a table was available. Well, we kept an eye out and no one seemed to be getting served anytime soon, so we decided just to bin it off and go and try the buffet for a complete change. We very, very rarely head to the buffet for an evening meal, so it was indeed a change, but was it a good one? Find out in a minute. Before we headed to the buffet, we were treated to another acrobatic performance in the atrium. To my knowledge, these shows are not scheduled, they're not in the programme, they just kind of happen when they happen, but they are worth stopping and having a look if you catch one. We then made our way up to the Horizon restaurant. Now look, a buffet is a buffet, but in fairness to P&O, this was pretty good. The variety was really strong, there was lots to choose from, and everything seemed to be fresh. I mean, maybe we got lucky and they just put things out as we got there, but honestly, we were impressed with it. Now, when it comes to selections at buffets, I'm pretty naff, so I went for poppadoms, fries, arancini, and some chicken kebabs, and they were all lovely. And Ben went kind of similar, but a bit healthier, a bit of Italian, and a little bit of salad, and some poppadoms. As you can see, dessert-wise, there is lots and lots to choose from, but for me, this is where it fell flat. I went for one of these little chocolate pots, and it was nasty. It was over-processed slop. Blech. By this point in the cruise, we'd kind of given up on the entertainment. It's just not our thing, so we went to the onboard cinema to watch Something About Mary. The cinema itself is great, and it was fairly busy actually. We were surprised and we had a really good time. We then went and filled our water bottles up for the evening, headed outside just to get a little bit of air, just to take in the gorgeous lighting and ambience, and then we headed to the cabin for some much needed sleep. In the next vlog, join us for fun and games on a sea day, and also find out how we got very lucky and won £500. We also share our thoughts about the food at the Glass House and the Olive Grove. We also try one last show on board Arvia, as well as walk around St. Martin and also talk you through disembarkation on a fly cruise. It is the last day. We crammed so much into the last episode of the series, so make sure you hit subscribe and you don't miss out. Thanks for watching and catch you later.